Welcome back to Shidduch Talk. We had a little break during the summer. We'd like to continue our series regarding Bashert. I'm going to say a small piece from Rav Moshe today, but we're going to start off. I once heard from Rav Victor Miller on one of his tapes that they asked him, how does a person know that he got his Bashert? So he made a joke and he said that after 120, you're going to find out if you got your Bashert. Which means he was saying that there's no really practical difference if you know, as long as you're the right one and you're a good husband. So the actual Bashert doesn't matter once you're married. The Drash Rav Moshe Feinstein has a very fascinating original idea. And it starts off in Vayikra and it goes back to Vayechi. So the pasuk says Vayikra al Moshe, that Hashem called to Moshe. So Rashi says that there was a coil that went to the Mishkan on top of the Aron, and it was a very loud voice, but only Moshe Rabbeinu heard it. So Rav Moshe says that whenever it's a loud voice, even if we don't hear it, it's directed to us. He gives an example. What's his example? He says that every morning there's a baskel that comes out. I'm going to read you his words shortly. It says, "V'chein hu b'baskel de bas ploni," the baskel that announces a person's bashert. Shehu tzivoy elo b'yichud. It's a tzivoy to him personally. Levad mitzvah klolis lisa isha. Besides the general mitzvah that you have to marry a lady, nemaloi b'baskel tzivoy miyuchud sheyisazu dafkazu. The baskel is not just an announcement what's going to be or who is good for you. It's an actual command to marry that person. Davi b'baskel tzivoy noisef vayidia. How do you know who it's yours? Who mimasha nemonim lanu divrei chazal b'bir. So he's saying the baskel is a mitzvah. It's a tzivoy, which is a chiddush. Usually baskel we learn is only a bir. It's to tell you something. It's not an actual direct commandment. Rav Moshe says that there's a baskel, which is a tzivoy, that you're supposed to marry your bashert. And in very short, he writes that how do you know it's your bashert? The fact that shenemonim lona b'divrei chazal b'birur. That's his words. Now, it's very short, his words. In Parshas Vayechi, the last piece of Vayechi, he's much more, he explains it a little better. So Rav Moshe in Vayom Velikim Pakad Yish Bayosef Pakad Yifkad Elikim, that they knew that there's going to be a geula with Pakad Yifkad. So Rav Moshe says that you have to take the Divrei Chazal, that you believe it 100%. It's not like an abstract idea that Chazal said something. Maybe it doesn't really mean it. Maybe it doesn't mean it. And he wants to zoom in on his point. And the case he brings is our case. So I'm going to read you his words, and then I'm going to say it. But I think he's just explaining the last line that he said in Parashat Vayikra. So he says like this. He says that v'tzarech adam lida, a person has to know shatia emunasa b'chol ma she'amar Chazal. He has to believe in the words of Chazal. Ki'ilu hu atzmi yedei. He personally knows it. Kegoyin, what's the case? Masha Amru, the Gemara cited that base. Arboim yoin kodim misiyos avlad, baskel machrez baskel and plainly. A baskel comes out and says, 40 days before who you're going to marry, the belief in the Divrei Chazal has to be as if you heard the actual baskel. That's how strong of Amunah you believe in the Chachamim. If you have such a strong belief in the words of Chazal, so strong, you don't believe it accidentally happened that you married someone. If you believe in the Divrei Chazal so strong, is that as if you heard the baskel who you're supposed to marry. What's going to happen is the end result is you're going to have a very good marriage. He says you're going to have hatzlacha v'shalom kol yam ki dvar Hashem rak l'tayva u'l'shalom v'loylam. Words of Hashem, the baskel, is only good. So if Hashem said you're supposed to marry this person, it has to be hatzlacha and you're going to have shalom. Aval, and these are very strong from Moshe Feinstein, that's all. Aval im einoi maimen kol kach, if you don't really believe in the whole idea of Bashert, and you maybe didn't really marry Bashert, yesh like tzas suffik, shehu aydei ma'asav, maybe because I did something unbelievable, and that's why I married her, v'aydei mikra, or accidentally some punked story, and it was sort of it wasn't because of Hashem's announcement, but it was because of outside circumstantial that you married the person. Very strong words. He says, Harei b'mida keneged mida. You're going to get because you did this, an exact punishment. What's the punishment to me? Nenesh l'pa'amim k'moishe yatzarech. K'moishe nemar afani elech bekeri. Hashem makes believe like everything happens. There's no hashgacha pratius. Shel kain ba chas v'sholem lepiru d'kadayim. It's so strong that it could cause a divorce. He says it could cause a period. He says all Divrei Chazal have to be believed so strong, like this case that he said, of the idea of Bashert. But he's, again, for Ramesh's wording, he says that even if you believe a little bit that it wasn't really Bashert, but because I did something, or something in the world happened, or some shatchan, even the shatchan, us shatchanim, we're Bashert, we're shluchim from Hashem. There's nothing to do with us. So Ramesh is saying again, if you believe in the Divrei Chazal so strong that it's like you heard the Baskal, then you're going to have a good marriage, and it's going to last, and you can have a lot of tzlacha. And if you believe that it wasn't so much Bashert, it was because of outside circumstances or your ma'asav, it can chalila cause a divorce. I think this is just a addition to a whole idea of Bashert, how strong it is, the Divrei Chazal, that everyone has their Bashert 40 days before. Everyone should find the Bashert, the Karev Mamish.